Thank you for coming into this session on this micromanaging trades with Precise Trader. Today is September 9th and Monday, and today I don't think there is any important data that is coming out. Okay, what we'll be doing today is, today we'll just be just doing a quick one because we'll just apply what we have learned last 2 weeks, so that you don't get yourself confused or you don't get yourself complicated with too many things. So now what we are trying to do today is we want to do a proper application on trade so that we understand the concept and we understand the system, how we can go about it, right? Okay, do take note of the risk disclosure. Day trading in foreign exchange is risky. Past results are not indicative of future returns. The content on this webinar is mainly educational purpose and use your information entirely at your own risk. And you must assess the risk of any trade with your broker before you put in your real money to test. Please take note of the ground rules. Respect fellow attendees and the presenter. Mute your mic when the presenter is speaking. Use the chat feature to ask questions, and please ask questions only related to trading. And also please take note that for those of you who are coming in first time, okay, please, you can if you want to use the mic, you may do so. I mean, of course, you just request on the chat, so at least we let you talk, or you can just address the questions uh, to everyone, and also mention the questions so at least I can address your questions or queries. For those of you who are logging in from YouTube, you will not be able to ask questions, okay, because we just want to make it as interactive as possible and also closed door as possible, right? Okay, now the 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 Precise Trader, I think I'm sure you know what are the services we provide. So these are the services we provide, and these are the ways which we can use the system and you can use it. All right. So for those of you who are coming in first time, of course, just a quick run. Okay, we have 30 years of experience. We have a unique trading system whereby the system will tell you to even without looking at the charts. That means the system will tell you what chart time frame we can use. Okay, this is also can be helpful. Okay, meaning you can just use from the system to gauge, okay, which time frame chart we need to get focus, or which we need to get ourselves to pay attention to. Okay, we also have a zone price alerts whereby the system will alert you when the price is moving beyond certain levels. And the most important and the most powerful tool which we use is the dashboard, which gives you an entry, exit, and stop loss. And the trend map, this will tell you the trend on different time frames. Zoom in so that it will give you a bird's eye view. The PT zones also will give you a bird's eye view. The difference between the trend map and the PT zones is the PT zones will tell you which zone the market is trading. The trend map will tell you the direction of the trend and the market. Okay, and then we also have strongest, weakest. Okay, that would decide you the best cross to trade, and we also provide live signals on like scalping, day, news, momentum, and swing. And the signals will use specific time belt. Okay, that is also an indication that this would give us which would be the best time to use in terms of risk reward. Okay, then we also provide a strong backend support, and we will also help to take this as a career, right? Okay, products which we offer: forex, euro, pound, dollar, yen, dollar, Swiss, Aussie, dollar, CAD, New Zealand, dollar, Sing, any one of these crosses against each other. And we also provide services on precious metals like gold and silver, and of course futures, mini Dow, mini Nasdaq, S&P, Russell, DAX, or CFDs. Commodities, we also provide on crude oil, natural gas, corn, and wheat. Okay, these are the services which we provide. Okay, now we are going into uh, the tools which we have learned last 2 weeks. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to share with you the tools which we were discussing with you, and now we are going to apply to see how you can use it in your trading and how effective it is on your trading. Okay, I think we know pivot high, pivot low is usually it depends on different time frame. That means like you can get a pivot high, pivot low on a 15-minute, even 1 minute, the lowest and the higher being, of course, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours daily, so on and so forth. Okay, moving average crossover. This is we use exponential moving average. Okay, and of course, if you want to know the template, that means what are the key numbers which we use. Okay, we believe in Fibonacci. Okay, we use Fibonacci numbers, and all our moving averages we use as a Fibonacci numbers. Okay, and of course, if you need it, you let us know. We will be sharing you the exact numbers which we use. Okay, time control. Okay, time control means the market is moving during a specific time frame. Okay, that means like for instance, like see, like now is 17 hours. Okay, 17 hours. We always play the game by 24 hours time belt. So now is 17 hours is SGD meaning Singapore time base, right? So then what the time control means, if let's say the market is moving, maybe 1 or 2 hours, then the 2 hours is the time control. That means you expect the market to move in that particular direction for the next 2 hours. Okay, so that is what is meant by time control. Time belt, that means that is a fixed time belt which we are looking at, and usually we play the game by forex excuse me, every 6 hours. So starting from 5 a.m. Singapore time, so we call it like every time belt. That means 6 hours means 5, 11, 17, 23, and again 5. So these are the time belt, 6 hour time belt. So we can use 6 hour time belt, we can use 12 hours time belt, we can use daily time belt, weekly, monthly, so on and so forth. So that means when you put a trade, like for instance, if let's say you are doing a swing trading, then we use a weekly time belt. Okay, so for day trading we use day time belt. For scalping, we use a 6 hours time belt, and uh, then monthly is all, it's swing trading. So different signals we use a different time belt. So for us to get a clear idea. Then we also learned on benchmark. Benchmark, what is means that is a key level. That means we take that as a guidance, or we take that as a referral. So the benchmark level means that means as long as we, let's say we are going to go for a sell at or buy a certain market, so we need to know the benchmark level. Okay, of course, benchmark level is different from critical high and critical low. Okay, critical high and critical low, later I'll share with you. Critical high, critical low means in simple, that is the high and low of a specific time belt which we are talking. So that means when we call a critical high on the day, or daily time belt, that means what we are looking at is previous day high. So that is what we are referring, and that's what we mean by a critical high on the day. If let's say we are looking at a critical high on the week, or critical weekly critical high, okay, whichever way you can say it. So that means what we are looking at, we are using that the previous week high as a referral point. Okay, so now the difference between the benchmark and the critical high is the benchmark can be lower or higher level depending on when the time belt opens and when we are going to trade. Okay, the next thing which we also learned is RSI. Okay, RSI is a very fantastic tool, especially if you are a technical trader. You cannot escape RSI. So you need to know, you need to understand how RSI works. And of course, last week we were learning on RSI like overbought, oversold, divergence, reversal, all this we do. At the same manner, we use MACD or MACD, stochastic, and DMI. So all these are the only four oscillators. We call it oscillators, which we use in our technical analysis, and we are good to go. So maybe the next week, we talk about polarity change, strength, weakness, simple patterns, PT patterns, all this I'll be talking to you next week. So now what we are going to do is, now we are going to use all this nine, yeah, it's nine, I think, nine tool. Yeah, nine tool. Then we are going to trade live, and we are going to analyze the trade and put in the trade. Okay, so we, of course, we must identify all this. That means pivot high, pivot low, moving average, crossover, time control, time belt, benchmark, and all this. Then I think our trading becomes easier and much easy to look into. Okay, so now let's start to trade, and let's use it to see how we use these tools to get that information and put in trade with confidence and with comfort zone. Okay, the strongest, weakest on the 360, we don't have anything. But when we look at on the daily, pound has been the weakest. New Zealand second, third euro. What? So you see all this, it will help you to choose. You don't have to look at the chart screen, and do it on a different time frame, so you don't get the thing. So just one look at it, we get an answer. Okay, the 720 and daily should be the same because sorry, 720 has just finished. Daily is different because we already finished 12 hours from the opening, right? So now we look at pound. Okay, now you're saying pound would be the best cross to trade, and within pound, when we look at on the vertical, pound yen would be a good bet, then pound cat, pound New Zealand, and pound dollar. So on the horizontal, it will tell you which one to choose based on the number, and on the right, this would tell you the best cross to trade. So that means we should not be trading looking at pound Aussie because there's no movement, pound Sing, there is no movement. So this will help you to choose the crosses. Okay, let's talk about pound. Okay, let's talk about maybe two crosses. So at least, we get ourselves compared. So at least, we will be in a position to put in the trade. So maybe let's say we trade on pound and New Zealand dollar. Okay. So New Zealand dollar, it says pound New Zealand, this would be the best cross to trade. Okay, pound New Zealand. So that means in fact New Zealand would be the weakest, in fact, based on this. Okay, anyway, we look at, then we'll do. So now we are saying that the strongest, weakest is telling you that we should be selling pound, we should be selling New Zealand dollar. The third one is we should be selling euro dollar. Okay, this three. Okay, now let's go into the trend map. Okay, trend map should give us the same answer. Okay, the trend map, for those of you who are coming in first time, okay, this is a very simple and very powerful and effective tool. On the top, you see all the time belts. That means this is what just now I told you, the time belt, meaning this is a 15-minute time belt, 120 time belt, 240, 360, 720 daily. White boxes means flat, red means down, green means up, and these are the currencies. So it's a very easy and very straightforward tool to use. So now when we look at the pound, see here, when we look at on the daily, in fact, just now the strongest, weakest, we were using the daily, so we use the daily again. So this tells you the same answer. That means pound we should be selling, Euro we should be selling, then dollar Swiss should be buying, New Zealand should be selling. So we have 4 signals here, and the strongest, weakest is also telling us the same answer. Okay, this is based on the daily. So that means we are expecting the market to move lower, like pound, we're expecting lower continuous pattern until the end of the day or a certain level reach. Okay, now when we look at on the 720, 360, 240, 120, 15, all are flat. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, that means, okay, what is telling us now is I want to sell pound. Okay, that is I have no secondary thought on that. That means I want to go for a sell on the pound. Next, where do I sell? I sell, if I'm aggressive, then I should be selling on the 15-minute high. Okay, we don't have 30 and 60-minute. Okay, this is hidden here. So of course we have a 120-minute high. So that means we should be selling above that or not above, near the 120 high. Okay, now to do our selling decision, we need to know the critical high, because always remember when we are going for a sell, we need to know the critical high. So on this note, I would take either your 360 high as your critical high or your 720. Okay, this may be the same or this may be the different, that I wouldn't know. That is, of course, we got to look at the dashboard. So that critical high as our benchmark level, we can use that as a benchmark level. Or if we feel that we are really very keen that I don't want to miss the move, then we can use the stop loss level as a critical high and above, and benchmark level we can use as a different thing. And the thing what we need to know is your time belt and your time control. Okay, right now if I give you the statement, the time control is daily down. Okay, this is what I meant by time control. That means this daily is down, the time control. That means the price is expected to go down until end of the day, unless if there is a reversal. Otherwise, the time control here is daily. Okay, the time belt we are looking at as 360, because this is going to be the trade I'm going to hold is for the next uh, 6 hours. Then uh, then time belt, time control I've given. So we need to know the pivot high, pivot low, moving average, crossover. Then we are able to good to go. Okay. Now the next thing is we use the PT zones also to check whether we are getting the same answer. Okay. In fact, we are getting the same answer on the daily. That means euro is down, pound is down, dollar yen is trading at R4, and dollar Swiss is at R2, and New Zealand is. So in fact, when you look at this, I think that the weakest currency right now is dollar yen, because dollar yen is trading in zone 4. So that means this has been the weakest. So now after we early on we wanted to do on the pound, euro, and New Zealand. So now when we look at dollar yen, so probably we have to look at dollar yen as well. Okay, so we'll take dollar yen as also into consideration, because this is also moving pretty big. There's a big movement. Okay, now finally we go into the dashboard. Okay, dashboard. Now we focus on all the crosses. Basically, dollar strength is happening now. So we expect the euro dollar to go down, pound dollar to go down, dollar yen to go up, dollar Swiss to go up, Aussie dollar to go down, dollar CAD to go up, New Zealand dollar to come down, so on and so forth. Okay, now we see, okay, let's say we talk on dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen right now, this is trading at 143.95. Sorry, 45. So based on the daily, what the system is telling me is I got a resistance at 143.55. Okay, this is known to your eyes because this is not known to normal. When we look at the charts, we don't get this thing to see. So I know there is a resistance at 143.55, and when I scroll down, there is a resistance at 143.70 and 143.90 and 144.25. So these are my target levels. So that means if let's say I'm going for a buy, I should exit before 143.70, 143.90 or 144.25. So now I got an answer for the target. Okay. Then next, remember we need to know the stop loss. Okay, the stop loss is, remember we can use the stop loss uh, as your previous critical low or benchmark level. Okay, this is where the benchmark level comes into play. Okay, right now the market is trading at 43.45. So if I'm going to use my stop loss at 42.60, this is where your previous low, that means your previous critical low. That is about 45 plus 35, that is 80 pips stop loss. So this is not worth considering this trade. So we need to get a higher level. Okay, the higher level would be 143 or current 360 low. So that means now if I put my stop loss at 143.20, that means always remember when we put a stop loss, we put 5 or 7 pips away from the prices because we don't want to get stopped out unnecessarily. And when we want to get into the trade, we always try to put 5 pips or 7 pips within the levels. So that is because we want to get the order get filled. Okay. So now we may decide the stop loss at 143.20 or 142.95 or even 143.05 because this is where the selling zone starts. So any one of these three levels we can put in, 43.20, 43.05 or 42.95. So any one of these three levels depending on your risk appetite and your reward. So now our target, remember earlier on we saw we need to get out at 43 70, 43, 90, and 44, 25. So now your 360 tells you that we got to exit before 43, 90 or 95 because 44 there is a strong resistance. Okay. So now we are more or less, we are good to go. Now we are going to look at a chart. Then finally we decide. Then finally we put in the trade and manage the trade. Okay, now we are into the chart. Okay, so now when we look at this chart, okay, now we need, you see, the system would give you the entry, TP levels, stop loss levels, and all. But it is our job to check using the other tools to give us a comfort zone or comfort trading levels and exiting levels. So now the system said that we got to exit before 144. That means 143.90. So what we got to do is we got to check 143.90. Okay. You see here, this is 143.90 and this is 144.20. So 143.90, we got to exit. Okay. How do we evaluate this? Now, this is where your tools come into play. Okay, there's 4 tools. There's one more is the DMI. Okay, DMI also I put in. Okay, DMI, MACD, stochastic, RSI. Okay, now your moving averages crossover. This is one thing also we need to pay attention to. Okay, the next thing is now you need to ask yourself, where have we seen the pivot high? Because if we are going to go for a buy, if we have seen the pivot high, then there's no point we go for a buy. But on the other hand, we are expecting our pivot high to be slightly higher, then we don't mind going into the trade. So now when we look at RSI, your RSI is 70, which is approaching overbought. Your stochastic is also about 82, which is already overbought. Your MACD is not crossover, still pointing up. DMI is still pointing up. Still, we can go for a buy on this. Okay, now when we look at your RSI, remember the market always turns down to up or up to down when we see, of course, overbought, oversold. That is one. Second is a divergence on the RSI should be seen. That is also a very powerful tool. So here we have not seen any divergence. We have not seen any divergence, and market is expected to go up. So the question is, I want to exit before 43.90. So maybe I put at 43.85. So when I look at my RSI and moving average crossover and all this, I can get a clear guidance on which level to put on exit, which level to put on stop loss and entry, and so on and so forth. So now when we look at it, okay, we know that the price is still going to go higher. So now we got to decide on the stop loss. So remember early on we were choosing 143.20, 143.05 and 142.95. So now when I look at my chart, then I should come into conclusion one level. Here the system gives you 3-4 levels, but when we look into the chart, we should come to a conclusion of only one level, so then we can trade with confidence. Okay, now when we look at this 43.05 and 42.90. So now when I look at it, okay, I've decided that my stop loss is 142.95. I know that the high is still not seen yet. That means we may see some move up. Then the DMI all are there, so it's nothing to worry. Okay, so now comes to your final entry point. So whenever your entry point comes into play, what we should be doing is we should be looking to do it on a 1-minute chart or lower. Okay, so now if you see here, the price is making here, so probably I may want to enter at 143.30 or 143.10. Okay, these are my two entry levels depending on my comfort zone and comfort trading areas. So when I look at these two levels, so maybe I would want to put my first entry as 143. Yeah, about 143.30. So here, when we look at this, remember our moving average crossover. As long as the price is all trading above the moving average, and the moving average is in ascending line and is going up, we should be comfortable in putting this trade. So my final call would be buying at 43.30. Okay, 43.30. Put a stop at 42.95 and TP at 43.85. Okay, I put in the trade, I let it work, and that's how the trade should be done day in, day out. So the only thing will become, you are sitting in a driver's seat, you should have your focus on your 1 minute and slightly higher. That means your time control. So if you, let's say like now we are looking at a 360 time control, that means I expect this strength to go until another 5.5 hours, and these are my targets. Okay, so now your 360 is also going up. Okay, it's going up, so we don't have to get worried. In fact, you see here this 143, that 5 o'clock, that's where the low is made. So we should have been in this trade. We should have been in this trade when 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock comes in, this is where we should be buying. So we just wait and we just hold the trade. We don't disturb the trade until you see a pivot high is seen. Okay, the pivot high meaning when we look at on the 15-minute, okay, the condition is pivot high condition is highest high, lower highs on both sides or equal highs. Then the condition is the price must close below this low. So that means I am going to go and hold this trade until I see the price going and trading below 143, let's say 143.30, 143.30. That means I'll go for a buy. So remember early on we wanted to buy at 143.30. So chances are, you may get it or you may not get it because that might be a make or break level. So the best level would be to enter is 143.40. Okay. And the next thing is you only close your trade when you see the price moving below the moving average and the moving average crossover turn. So what do I mean by that? That means we should be getting something like this signal here. Then we are wrong. That means we have to close the trade. That means if we see, okay, something like this, that means price making lower highs and price is coming below the moving average 1 minute, then we decide to close the trade. So that means, this trade is not going to be as we expected. Then maybe the pullback might be strong. Then we got to wait for the re-entry. So even like, for instance, if let's say you sold, like let's say we sold and got out, then we should do a re-entry again once we see this, because this is where the moving average crossover happened and the price is starting to move higher and we get to this. So this kind of situation, we got to take action. This kind of situation, we got to take a re-entry again, then stay in the trade. So this is how you should be, excuse me, putting your trade, and this is how you have to handle this. So you got to make sure, that's why I said you got to trade with confidence. See whether the the pivot high or pivot low is seen. See whether we have the time control or the time belt giving us the decision to hold or close the trade. And all this will make a key important decisions in holding your trade or closing your trade or waiting, whatever, So all this can play a key role in your decisions. Okay, so are you all clear? What to do and how to do and how to apply. So we need to start identifying. So here you see here your thing is still not turned yet. Okay, as long as, and this is in fact this is the key level. That means 42, 142.95, 143 is a key level for us to note. As of course, if the price starts to come below this, then chances are the market has made a high. But until then, I think we still have enough time for the price to move higher and the price to push higher. Okay. So any questions? Any questions? Any doubt so far? I've been sharing this example and I'm showing you the way how we can trade. Any questions or any doubt? Okay. So if you see the tricky part here is, see, you must understand the answers I'm giving you. The time control for this, you see now the dollar yen started to break high. Okay. So you know that the thing is the time control is, you must understand that this is a daily time control. So that means this market is expected to push higher until the end of the day. So we can safely trade this, we can safely stay in the direction and safely move into this. The next question is like, see, like now pound, I think pound was one of the cross which we were talking just now. Okay, this time control is daily down. Okay, daily down because this is trading below the previous day low, and this low has to break. That means 130.85 has to break in order for the price to go down lower. Okay, now the question is whether it will break or not. So now if you look at, to give you this answer for this question, we must always need to consult the oscillators, meaning the RSI, stochastic, and this. So now what I feel is, right now this market has made, can you see the divergence? Low, lower low, low, higher low on RSI. So we may see a mild pullback. So this pullback can be towards 131.10 or even 131.30. Okay. And the stop, definitely I don't see the price going above the today's high. So, and if I look at on a higher time frame, okay, this has got more room to come down. Okay, come down towards lower, right? So we can try to sell this at 31.20 or 30, then wait for the low to break, then we should see 130.30 by tonight, provided no changes. I think today there is no data, so most likely this should be the way which we should be trading this cross. Just imagine how confident and how easy is we look at and we decide, we trade, and we put in the trades. And this is how you should be practicing yourself. And the next thing is, of course, when the price goes in and out, meaning sometimes it might look like a high is seen, or sometimes it might look like a low is seen or what. Then sometimes if, let's say, you decide to close your trade, then you do a re-entry when you get a chance again. So that is what the job of a trader. That means the trader's job is you should maximize your profit, minimize your losses. So that means when you are in the wrong, try to get out ASAP, and when you are right, hold on to the trade and get the maximum from the market. Okay. So any questions? If not, then we can conclude today's session. Okay, let me change the slide. Okay. So if we have no questions, then our next webinar is this coming Wednesday, September 11th, and Friday, September 13th. And this September 11th, this coming Wednesday, I think is a news trading, because CPI data is out around that time. So if you are really excited, then we can trade during this time. Then of course we will be guiding you. So if you have any friends, please bring them also, so at least we'll try to get the group bigger. Okay. So with that, I think I conclude today's session. Okay. Once again, thank you for coming, and looking forward to see you again. Okay. Till then, goodbye.